look at the rest of the playoffs and from the wild card weekend. You had Buffalo versus Denver, 31-7. They played a young quarterback. They played a team that was very much aspiring. Bo Nix, I thought, played it by. I don't know. I'm gonna say he played as well as he could have played. But when you're facing a team that's been there in Buffalo, that they are battle tested, I didn't expect to see the new up and comers supplant a team that's been a staple here in the AFC for so many years now. So I'm not surprised by that game at all. What were your thoughts?
I feel like that was to me. I mean, Bo Nix had an incredible year, but I feel like Buffalo just was Buffalo MVP caliber and Josh Allen. I feel like that was kind of like Bo Nix's like coming out party, I guess. Playoff game. Played exceptionally well. But the better team won. It was predicted. Some little small little scares, little things, little tweak out for Buffalo, but penalties. But they got it done. Josh Allen got it done.
Not fast. Like nothing I saw in that game makes me question what I think about how they'll fare against Baltimore next week. Also, I will say I do. Josh Allen is in the MVP conversation for the fact that you look at this team, it would not be where it is because if he weren't there. And this is one of the rare years where Lamar has had competent help.
Mm.
I would say. Like I think like Bateman, like Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers got better in the offseason. Derrick Henry being there plays a huge factor. Derrick Henry's an MVP candidate alone. Like by himself, he's an MVP candidate. So I do understand the Josh Allen talks in the MVP conversation. And I respect it. I respect what Josh Allen has done. And I respect the Joe Brady as well for what he's done with this offense since taking over late last year. He's turned this offense around. He's helped push Josh Allen to that next forefront, which is on the cusp of an MVP, which honestly I think he may get. But to
Nah.
move to hey man, hey, look, bro, don't be surprised, bro. When y'all, don't be surprised. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like 2016 all over again. Everybody gonna be
Yeah.
sad, looking at their phone, like,
Yeah.
damn, how could this happen? How could this
Yeah.
happen? How could this happen to my country? You know what I'm saying?
That January 19th.
Hey, look, bro. So Packers, Eagles. I'm not going to a snooze fest. Jordan Love has to there has to be a conversation had about Jordan Love. Eventually, he's got to get to the point where he can take care of the football, so I can feel that Green Bay can compete in these types of games.
Yep.
They're a good enough team. He doesn't do enough. He doesn't do a good enough job of taking care of the rock. They like Richard Sherman alluded to this on his podcast. They tried to build this team as if he were a rookie still and try to go get a running game to try to take the ball out of his hands to alleviate those mistakes. If he's a guy that you're paying this much money to, you can't babysit a guy like that. He's gonna have to get better. That's the end all be all for that. Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, man, at some point, bro, like you gotta quit being average. Like quit
Yeah,
being
I agree.
average.
I agree.
But
I
like,
think yeah.
go ahead, brother. I let you go
Since I
ahead,
feel like
man.
since the Super Bowl run, he's become like an average quarterback at best. And even beforehand, it was like it's weird because like before that, it was like, is he an NFL caliber quarterback? And then he went on the Super Bowl run. And then after that, it was just like, nah, I proved my point. I'm gonna be an average quarterback. But yeah, like you said, you can't be an average quarterback and then expect to go against a deep NFC, conference where like you're only going to get harder as the week go on. You get what I'm saying? 'Cause you got to worry about Detroit right now. Shoot, St. Louis, not St. Louis. I'm sorry, LA, the Rams.
Don't sleep.
So
Don't
they
sleep.
there. Don't sleep. So it's like, what I'm saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket, my brother. And just thinking like, oh, cause you Philly. You know what I'm saying? And Sirianni, bro, he they sick of you already. They about done with you. So you better
It's
not.
just I'm not gonna lie. Like I get and like I try to defend black quarter. I'm gonna always try to defend the black quarterback. But if this were any other quarterback that had Devontae Smith and AJ Brown as his number one, number two receivers, and Saquon Barkley at running back, I would be killing them for the performances that he's had so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's so bad. I'm gonna tell you how I know it's bad in Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts and some of these performances. And kudos to him for being able to win games, but he does have to be better as a quarterback.
Yeah.
It's so bad that nobody even trips on AJ Brown for his for how he reacts in the locker room after games. Like because we know for a fact that AJ Brown's supposed to be a 1,300, 1,400 yard receiver every year, 10, 11 touchdowns. Devontae Smith is supposed to be a 1,000 yard receiver every year, about 10 touchdowns. That should be the norm and the standard there for Philadelphia in that offense. They're too good for this for it not to be the case. You know what I'm saying? And that class of 19 at quarterback, bro. That class of 19, bro. Herbert, Tua, Jalen. Yeah,
He ain't look good.
it ain't looking great for y'all boys, man. Y'all, this may be y'all last contract, big dog. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all
Hey,
may not
listen,
have
bro.
another one.
I gotta give to at least the benefit of doubt with that, man, because he them concussions, man. Them things just taking him out, bro. But he
Even,
putting on himself by
yeah,
playing. But
yeah. He put on himself by playing, but even still, even with him, bro, it's like even when you were available late in the season last year, you still weren't good.
yeah,
Like I mean, and the best ability is gonna be availability for him to start with.
yeah,
But Commanders, Bucks, Jaden Daniels, great showing by a young quarterback. Battle. He's battle tested. He's got some in his rookie season today. He's got some battles underneath his belt that he can hang his hat on and say, "Hey, like, yeah, like, play with it if you want to." You feel me? Like, I trust. Like they go in, they battle. He looks like he's never been afraid of the moment in these late game situations. You see him find Terry McLaurin, you see him find De'Ami Brown. You see him have no issue with the late game scenarios and how he's handling it. And his ability as a runner also comes into play. That becomes a very hard thing for teams to have to deal with late in games. Brother, they are a problem. I don't know. They face the Lions coming up.
right.
That matchup doesn't work in their favor. But for years to come, Jaden Daniels has definitely given me and everybody in the DC area a reason to believe that they can be a competitive group and within the NFC.
Yeah, I honestly think him and Terry needs just at least one more weapon. Him and Terry.
Yeah.
But dude, like Jaden Daniels, honestly, bro, like, and I said this coming in, I thought he was a better quarterback than Caleb Williams. That was just me.
Yeah.
But and people thought I was stupid. But now this could be because Caleb in the situation, but at the same time, like you got to look at it. The Commanders was just as bad as
Work.
Chicago last year. So dude, he is the obvious rookie of the year, Jay Daniels. But dude, he played like an NFL ready quarterback in the playoffs. His first one got a dub. Now you got the Lions. The only thing about the Lions, like if you take advantage of like their defense, I don't know if any of their starters are back or not. But if they aren't,
Mm-mm.
you take advantage of that. You win a game. You go to the NFC Championship game. Cool. But at the same time, Jared Goff and them boys scoring points.
Oh,
They
oh.
scoring points. You know what I'm saying? So
They scoring by the boatload, bro. Hey, Jared Goff and the boys score points like they shopping at Sam's Club, big dog, in
telling you,
bulk, brother, in
telling you.
bulk.
No,
You
no,
feel me?
no car, no Sam's
No
car.
car. Hey, nah. Bro, they get to it. Vikings versus Rams, dog. Sam Darnold. I'm sorry. All right. Before I leave off of Commanders Bucks, credit to Cliff Kingsbury and credit to Dan Quinn, two coaches that I think people thought were dead in the water. Credit to those guys for credit to Dan Quinn for putting together this staff and this roster. Credit to the front office, the GM. Got to give credit to that. When you have 1 year turnaround like this, a lot of things got to go right. You got to have the right guy at the top of the food chain with it being the GM, and you got to have the right man in command as the head coach, and it culminated into what we're seeing right now. You got a team that's not only competitive this year, but they got a chance to be competitive for years to come if they play their cards right. There is no question they have a chance to compete for that division. They're in the hunt. They're not just in the hunt, brother. They're in the mix for real.
Yeah, they're in the mix. The only thing about it is like
They're probably another Jay Daniels probably another year or two away before I think he can go up against like a Detroit team and go win that. That's where I'm at right now. Like I think that may be the game where you may see him look young in terms of that, because that environment is going to be crazy. The level that Detroit's playing at, even though they were missing starters, Detroit has lost guys and they have been able to step up. Each guy has just stepped up and they've been able to help maintain that team for the duration of the season. So I mean, it's going to be a battle for sure.
yeah. But the thing I would say about and it kills me to say this about Sam Darnold. A lot of people say he was exposed last night. I don't really think it. I think it was a more team effort than it was a Sam Darnold effort. I don't think just the Vikings in general just didn't step up. Justin Jefferson was just inefficient. They really not his fault. I think the Rams they did a good job just D'ing him up last night. Um, Matthew Stafford really played like that. I would say at least that Super Bowl caliber Matt Stafford. Like the Rams was just like clicking on all cylinders on offense.
Hey,
They was killing it.
take the baton from here. Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold, bro, in 2 weeks, he undid everything he had accomplished all year. Meaning, like, if I'm Minnesota, no, I don't bring Sam Darnold back. I'm going right to my rookie quarterback, JJ McCarthy. I'm saying, hey, the franchise is in your hands.
I
That's
don't
who we
I don't
got.
know. I can't agree with that only because like I said last night from what I watched, I felt like that was just a bad effort overall by the team and a good effort just by the defense of the Rams. So and it's gonna be some questions. It's gonna be like, okay, 14-3, you lose in a wild card game. Do we take this chance to bring you back? There's gonna be some questions with that because he pretty much exposed himself to be the old Sam Darnold that we all know. But you know, you look into that season, because obviously their goal was to go play Detroit. That was the goal for them. They wanted Detroit,
Mhm.
divisional opponent, two of the top teams. Like y'all was duking it out all year long for who wins.
Yeah,
You don't get there. So I mean, even if you would have got there and lost, that I feel like for the Vikings that would have been their ultimate goal at least for the season.
right.
Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be a long off season in Minnesota because obviously you have McCarthy, who we still don't know how good he is because he tore his MCL. I think it's ACL.
There you go.
And um, and you got Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people saying like he can still be useful in another team. Um, I don't know how much of a
Here's
risk
the thing, bro.
you
I
willing
just
to take.
watch Sam, bro, and when it's not there and it starts to break down, the brother goes right back to what he's always been. Very jittery, hopping around like a bunny rabbit in the pocket, holding on to the ball for too long. And that creates a lot of what happened. The 9 sacks you saw, a good chunk of those come off the heels of Sam Darnold holding on to the ball for entirely too long and not having a inkling in his body that, hey, bro, maybe you need to take off. Maybe you gotta do something. You gotta do something. You can't just hold on to the ball. But that's what he's done all year, and they've been able to get away with it. So this is a team that was on probably on borrowed time anyway. When you start looking at how the Detroit game went, that was more of a sign than it was anything else. That wasn't just a one off. That was a sign that, hey, low, there are leaks in this ship. You've covered them up so far all year. And there's a team like this every year. There's always a team like this where they win a bunch of games. They probably got by playing, maybe less than ideal competition, and they had certain scenarios just work out in their favor, and they get to the playoffs, and it kind of all culminates, and you get exposed. The best teams are gonna play in the playoffs, man. The best teams win playoff games. So, that is what it is. I think you do go JJ McCarthy. I think this gives you the piece. You drafted JJ McCarthy at number 9, so you drafted him in the top 10. I have no problem with them parting ways with Sam Darnold after a 1 year deal. His 1 year was successful. You won games. You won the playoffs. That's a successful season. It didn't end how you wanted to, but then I believe you can then go towards McCarthy and say, hey, we're
I
looking at
also
you.
think too,
But
like you kind of have to look at Justin's like scenario too. You know what I'm saying? Like the quarterback situation where it's like you go from Kirk Cousins and you go to Sam Darnold and then you have a good season, and you go to McCartney, like with so much uncertainty. Like what if they go from 14-3 to 3-14 next year? We don't know.
bro, but here's
You
the
know
thing
what I'm saying?
though. I'm putting that on Jettis. That's on Justin Jefferson because you resigned that deal. You signed that deal, and I was a proponent that you shouldn't have signed that. I was always a proponent of you don't sign that thing, and you signed it. And what they did, they brought you in Sam Darnold. Now Sam Darnold played great for the majority of the year, so I cannot act like that was that narrative I'm spewing right now is what was being displayed all year. But there is a history with Sam Darnold that we know that he is eventually gonna have moments like these. And unlike Baker Mayfield, like I know Sam and Baker get are married together because they were in the same draft class and whatever. Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. I can
Mm.
go trust Sam. I can go trust Baker Mayfield to go win me some win me some football games and go make some plays and make my team better. Sam Darnold is a guy that I think I have to more so cater to. I have to placate to. I have to make sure I'm putting him in position to not lose games more so than putting him in positions to win games. Baker, I feel differently about. You know what I'm saying. I feel differently about that. Well, you know, with those two guys, and ultimately, bro, that I think that situation is what it is, man. But